The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
I'm Tank Spencer, he's Jeremy Greene, and we are the Sportsocracy in the Wicked Weed studio. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. NFL draft starts Thursday night. Don't forget, you can follow every pick along with us. Our instant analysis live for all 3 days of the draft, starting at 7 o'clock on Thursday night. Rolling along with 7-round mock drafts, by the way, if you are new to the channel. We've got every team covered right here. So share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel so you see all of the videos that we do leading up to the NFL draft. And then, of course, you will be with us and notified when we go live during said draft this week. New England Patriots, Jeremy's favorite as a New York Jets fan. He hates Bill Belichick, so let's see what kind of crap he saddled the New England Patriots with this time. They got the 15th overall pick in the draft, and they don't have to make a move. You got Mac Jones falling to them here at 15. Exactly what Bill Belichick wants.
They could still make a move with Carolina at 8 if Carolina doesn't feel like Penei Sewell's going to be their pick at 8, if Miami decides to take it at 6. But I think they could sit at 15 and still get Mac Jones. This guy, and I like Mac Jones. I just think the ceiling on him is very low. You know, there's a lot to like. He does have a good enough arm. It's not a crazy good deep arm. He's very accurate. I think he can run this Josh McDaniels system. Here's the problem. He threw a lot to wide open receivers. He had the best offensive line in the country, and the defense was insane. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard for me to judge a quarterback with that. I said the entire time San Francisco wasn't taking him at 3. I'm now as dead convinced as I've ever been that Trey Lance will be the pick at 3 at San Francisco. Mac Jones has definitively the lowest ceiling, but probably has the highest floor of any quarterback in this draft class. Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that I could see very well fitting into the Patriot way and leading this team to the next era of success.
Well, the real Patriot way at this point is taking really shitty tight ends and drafting poorly. So let's get into the rest of the picks so Bill can really show us the Patriot way.
In the second round, pick number 46 overall, Dyami Brown out of North Carolina. He's a wide receiver that the kid puts highlight after highlight on tape.
I think he can be a Sterling Shepard level receiver in this league. A lot of people will grimace at having him at 46. You know what the one knock on him is? Didn't run a real route tree. Ran a lot of 9 routes. He doesn't have that go-to move, but he just does everything well. I like the height, weight, speed on him at 6'1", 185, still pretty quick. He just strikes me as a Patriot receiver, a guy that can run this offense. You can run him out of the slot. You can run him on the outside. I love Dyami Brown. And I think he would be a tremendous player for the New England Patriots.
At their third round pick at number 96, you got him taking Tyson Campbell, a cornerback out of Georgia.
This is a guy that I think could end up going higher than this solely because he is there are a lot of teams now that really look at tall corners, and Tyson Campbell's one of those, 6'2", 185. He's a little thin, but he's a very good tackler. He just strikes me as a Belichickian kind of corner, and I could see him ultimately being the replacement for Stephon Gilmore down the line.
Demetric Felton in the 4th round, the first of 3 picks in the 4th round for the New England Patriots. He is a hybrid guy out of UCLA, played a little bit of every position.
He's more of a slot receiver than a running back to me. But I do think, unlike a Kylan Hill, I do think he can actually run between the tackles. This is a guy that I see as being a Bill Belichick chess piece because he doesn't tip your hand. He can run between the tackles. So if you see Demetric Felton in a game and you go, oh, this is obviously not a run, okay, he'll run a draw right up the middle and he's going to bust your ass because he is quick.
He is.
He's not the high-end speed's not necessarily there, but I think this is a guy that can run between the tackles. He's going to be a screen monster. He's actually a pretty good route runner for a guy that started as a running back.
So this is taking like the James White role and what they want Sony Michel to be, putting it into one player.
He's not Sony Michel good in terms of as a running back. He is, to me, he's a lower-end version of what Curtis Samuel was last year in Carolina. This is a guy that you can line up in the backfield, and he can hurt you. And if you don't respect him and you put a linebacker on him in the slot, he's going to hurt you a lot. Very shifty. I like this kid a lot.
All right, adding to the defensive line, they get an edge rusher out of Vanderbilt, Deo Odangbo, with the 139th pick. 123, excuse me.
The tape on him does not tell the story. This is a guy that needs to add a little bit of weight. He's a little thin, and I don't know that his body's going to allow that to happen. He's 6'6", 275. I think he can bulk up to 290, 295, even 300 pounds, and still be a twitchy, can stand up. I think he can be a good pass rusher in this league. The problem is that he grades very poorly. I think part of that reason is because there were not a lot of things to be scared of at Vanderbilt. I saw production against good players. It just didn't happen as consistently as I would like. I think he comes into the league, he has a role that grows over time. This is a guy you look at probably 2 to 3 years down the road as a guy that could be an impact guy.
Okay, now it's time for the 139th pick. Tyler Shelvin.
He's a lot of dude.
A nose tackle out of LSU.
There are very few true nose tackles in this class. He is one. The biggest problem I have with him is his weight. He doesn't rush the passer at all. This is a gigantic human run stop, plug gaps, big boy. And there's not a lot of those in this draft class. I don't know that he's ever going to be able to handle a really full workload. I think he's going to be a rotational, run-stopping nose tackle in this league, but I do like some of the tape. My biggest fear with him is his weight. I can tell you definitively he was up to 375 at one point last year at LSU. And there's just not a human that can play at that size, especially not 6'3".
Right. In the 5th round, 177 overall, Dalen Hayes, edge rusher out of Notre Dame. So adding again to the defense.
Gets off the ball really quick. The pass rushing, he had a lot of bad games. In terms of as a pass rusher, you take away Georgia Tech, Syracuse, and North Carolina last year, and Clemson. And he was mediocre at best, but he has a very good first step. I think he's more athletic than a lot of people are. Doesn't get locked up by linemen, can get off a block, but I think he is a little limited physically, and I would like to see more. Motor runs very hot and cold. Best player on the field at times, forget he's on the field at times.
In the 6th round, the first of 2 picks, you got him taking Tony Fields II, a linebacker out of West Virginia.
Little small. He's not crazy athletic to be as small as he is, but this is a tackle machine. This is a guy that I could just see Bill Belichick doing work with. Mm-hmm. He's not the stereotypical. He's not going to impress you walking through the lobby of the hotel, but this is a guy that gets on the field and he just makes plays. He had almost 400 tackles at West Virginia. Very talented player, very experienced player, which is something that Bill puts a lot into. I really like this kid. Some people don't think he's going to be drafted at all, and I don't think that's true. I just look at guys like this. This has Teddy Bruschi written all over me, all over it to me. It's a guy that he finds late in the draft, and a lot of people say, oh, he's not big enough for us. He's not fast enough for us. And Bill just goes, man, he's fine for me.
Yeah,
I'll find a way to use him.
I'll find a way to use him. Larry Roundtree III, the running back out of Missouri, comes off the board to the New England Patriots at 197th.
This is a guy that I think might be one of the most ready to contribute running backs in this draft. He could fill that. I don't even know a real role for him. Bill likes to trot out running backs and play the hot hand. Mm-hmm. There's nothing athletically that's going to jump off the page to you about Larry Roundtree. He's just good at everything. Decent enough blocker, very balanced, very patient. Not a great receiver out of the backfield. Not a great run blocker. Just a lot of things like that. Not a guy that gets really more than's blocked for him. But he doesn't fumble. He's consistent, and he can run between the tackles. And I think he's ready to play right away.
In the 7th round, 242nd overall, you got him taking the cornerback Brian Mills out of North Carolina Central.
He needs to eat a cheeseburger real bad. Probably a lot of them. Okay. He's 6'2", about 170. Got eaten alive at the Senior Bowl. I mean, he was the worst corner at the Senior Bowl. But he's very long, 32-inch arms. Didn't do a lot of soft press. It was either I'm right in your face or I'm playing off the ball. Not crazy fast, but stupidly athletic. I mean, this is just a guy that's going to be able to. If there had been a combine, I think he would have measured off the charts in things like the vert and the broad jump. Just strikes me as a piece that very raw kid, played at a lower level of competition, but it strikes me as a kid that Bill Belichick could get into that system, use the raw athleticism, and turn him into a player down the line.
As it stands right now, the New England Patriots have 10 picks in the 2021 NFL Draft. Mac Jones, of course, would be the big feather in the bonnet, I guess you could say, for Bill Belichick and company in this draft, although I do like several of these picks. We'll see how they all shake out.
This would be a good class, even coming from a Jets fan. Unbiased, unfiltered. This would be a tremendous class for Bill. And if he's allowing other people to put their 2 cents in, I can see several of these picks happening. I know they've talked to every guy that was on the screen.
We'll be live for every pick of the NFL Draft right here in the Sportsocracy from the Wicked Weed studio. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Share it with your friends as well. And don't forget to check out all your draft prep right here on the show. We'll see you next time.